Good evening, and welcome to Chlorine Callaloo right here on Trinidad and Tobago Freestyles Facebook Live. We're also streaming live on the RWB Aqua Stars Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. Welcome. Hope everybody is keeping safe. You're 59 minutes away from curfew, so I hope you're almost home because we can't deal with any of you all being missing from watching this show. Not sure how the coverage is in Golden Grove. So thank you again for joining us here. And we're getting ready to start one time with our first segment. It's a new segment. We promised you that we would try to get some names for the segment. So here we go. Right, so welcome back. So this is the Coaches Connection. And today we have three coaches, not three. Hello.
What's up?
Good evening. And we have here Asia Joseph. Oh God, let me unmute you, sorry.
Thanks, huh?
This is Asia Joseph. She's our strength and conditioning coach, and we have two-time Olympian Chantal McQueen, also assistant coach at Blue Dolphin Swim Club, and we have our resident nutrition coach, Mr. Yavniel Yatali. Good evening, everyone.
Evening. Good afternoon.
Good evening. So, the aim of this segment in general, Coaches Connection, is really to get the persons who are responsible for building the athletes, working together, talking together, in the hope of generating better performances from the athletes. So then I have no right to be here, so I'm going to leave it to Asia to take on the rest, and we'll start with this first edition of Coaches Connection.
All right, so good night, everybody. How are you guys? Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year. So how are you guys? I mean, the last time I spoke to you all, it was in season 1 of Chlorine Callaloo. Chantal, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good so far. Confident. I mean, wanting to get out, but
I know.
Safety first.
I know, same. And yeah, but I always talk to you ever so often. But still, how are you? How is everything going?
I fed up here. I fed up Trinidad.
And I hear you. I don't know. Yeah, still not here.
Yeah, it's soft, real soft.
Yeah.
You hear me now?
Soft stuff.
Use your outside voice. All right, so let's just wait until let's come back. But good night, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, as you all know or may not know, I'm in Trinidad for a while. So yay to that. Until so maybe at the end of the year. But yes, I'm finally back home. I mean, although it's COVID, but and lockdown, still happy to be here regardless. Right. So tonight the topic is the influence of social media and training practices. And so I wanna hear your take on it. I mean, as a coach, I know sometimes your athletes take social media before they take your word over stuff. So I think my first question is should coaches use social media as a communication mechanism with their athletes?
That is a tough scenario. I haven't really given it some thought in terms of using that avenue. I mean, I do have some athletes on the social media. I don't really. I would say it would probably be on the age level because one of the things I have some of my past athletes who they were present at the time, but they are more mature. They were on the way to university and whatnot. So it wasn't a way of me keeping in touch with them in that aspect through via Facebook or Instagram. And sometimes they will hit me up and see they go in doing this right now, or something they did, or something that happened that they remember, like a lesson learned, and they would
Yeah.
just shout out a hi or just touch base in that way. So it
Yeah.
depends on the age category, I would say.
Okay. You have nearly heard the question?
No, no, no.
No? Okay. You're still kind of soft though, but I will ask it now. So the topic for tonight is the influence of social media and training practices. I know you will have a lot to say on this because
Mm-hmm.
every day I go on social media is always something about this diet or that diet or what to eat, and that has a lot to play in athletes because it always, I mean, it's trending. All right. So the question is, should coaches use this as a communication strategy with their athletes? Like, how do you use social media with your athletes or your clients?
Well, interestingly though, I came off of Instagram like 2 weeks ago. Um, because I just needed a break from it. Just wanted to do it. But for the most part, I tend to have to know how to filter the
Mm,
people that your clients following. You know? So obviously Instagram and stuff is bombarded with very fast fixes. So 20-day this and just like quick things now. And then you as a coach, you have to now redirect your athletes to, hey, when you're looking at someone for information or stuff like that, look at people who are qualified. Look at their bio, read through their bio and make sure, hey, this person is, um, is within their scope to say this is what it is. So, for example, there is always this guy Lane Norton, right? He has his PhD in nutrition for the most part, right? And he would post things that are evidence based all the time. He posted
yeah,
references and stuff like that. So when you are looking for information, it always needs to be referenced by something. It can't just be, well, an anecdotal thing, because when you have things like that happening, what works for me wouldn't work for you. You understand? And then because of that, now we have to find where is the science in this, where is the exact data on this. How can we then apply this to athletes? How can we then filter out um, the non-essential information from our athletes to the information that they need to get? You know. Mm-hmm.
okay. All right. So a question for Chantal. All right. How do you combat the question of your athletes saying, "But coach, this is how I saw it to do it on Instagram or Facebook," because I have had that in the past where athletes approach me, even coaches, these sport coaches will approach me and be like, "Okay, I saw this on Instagram or I saw this on YouTube and they want to like try it out in training," and I'm like, no. But how do you deal with that issue?
Well, first off, I like the fact that they're coming to me with the question and they are coaching me rather than they going and do it on their own before they say come and
Definitely,
say
yeah.
something. So and I like the fact that they're actually researching their someone in their sport in their field, so that
Mm.
the positive aspects. And with that, there's the background. I'm like, okay, this person is doing that. Are they in the same category as you? Are they doing the same? Even if they're in the same sport,
Yeah.
are they in the same competitive level as you are?
Mm.
What did they do before that in order to reach there? They probably would have had to build a foundation. You are at this level right now.
Yeah.
You're doing this. You are, yes, you might be able to do it, but right now we are here, and it's going to take some building blocks to reach to that
To that
level that
level.
that person is on. And there's
Yeah.
also, you are not sure what that person is in the background, because this is what they're giving you in front of the camera. They're not giving you
Yeah.
this behind,
Yeah,
what
definitely.
they actually doing. So yeah,
Right.
there's some pros and cons.
Yeah, I definitely think like I do the same thing. I try to compare, okay, well, guys, this person is at the highest professional level and you are like a developmental player. So what you see them doing is not what you're gonna get there eventually, but right now we need to work on XYZ. So I don't like shut down the idea all entirely, but I still tell them, okay, yes, but XYZ gonna have like a follow-up behind it. Yeah, Neil, I know you'll have to say a lot on this too because it's always hey, well, coach, I saw this supplement and this diet and no carb diet and what do you tell them?
Yeah. So my thing with that is I have a very simple approach to it is okay, if that's what you want, and I don't want to be a coach anymore. So what I mean? If you came to me for coach, you came to me for guidance in some particular way, then and we met, we consulted, we worked out this is the plan we're going for the next 6, 8, 12 weeks, then you as an athlete, you have to know that, trust that the coaches you're working with has your interest in mind. So it can't be that you're coming to me for coaching, I'm doing your plan, I'm doing your nutrition layout, I'm doing your training, but every 2 weeks you ask me, so I saw this person on Instagram, then you know what? Coach yourself. Because they're not making sense. And
Yeah.
then it then boils down to you as an athlete. Are you approaching athletics or your sport for the purpose of improvement of yourself, or do you just want to be like that person you saw on Instagram yesterday or that other person? Because each individual is different, and it can't be that we're gonna want to use, well, I saw this person doing it here and I think that worked for me, when you actually as the athlete don't have any idea what's going on with you right now. You have no idea what data I've been collecting. You don't know what we're using in the background as well. This is the metric of this athlete here. We're seeing improvements by this amount here by here. So next training block we're gonna be using these things here. And all of a sudden you wanna throw in other variables like that. Then you're wasting my time and your time. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's why I approach those things.
As your project. Okay. So I think even logging on to this Be Live app, I think I even wrote it down that their theme is to enhance audience engagement. And I was thinking like we use social media for so much things now. I mean, we're using social media now to like engage people and educate people and stuff like that. Because I mean, it's something that I think it's the in thing now, especially for younger athletes. They always on social media, and I always like tell my athletes, just make sure, according to the app nail, make sure that it's research information, make sure that who wrote this, is it peer reviewed or is it just somebody's opinion or something like that. And so I want to know, like, what advice would you give to coaches, parents, athletes on social media? Because we can't just bash it and say, well, it's XYZ. We could also use it for good. Like I said, we use it for this. It allows for training within geographical limits. So I actually have someone who is in South Carolina right now that I train. And I mean, I love it because he's here. He can't come to Trinidad. I can't go to him and he's like, all right, well, we had to figure something out. So, like to me, I definitely use it as a catalyst to definitely share information, do challenges, get polls and stuff, have quizzes, and try to educate people. So, how would you, as a sport coach, Chantal, how will you advise your athletes on social media?
Well, when you see the social media, it'll be like Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube, and stuff like
Yeah,
that, because they have other
any
forums.
social, any social platform. It doesn't have to be like Instagram. It
Well,
could be anything.
like I say, you can use it in positive aspects where you have your um, top person in your sport who is they're on there at this point in time. They're showing you their lifestyle and what it's taken for them to reach at that level. You can use it as um, an achievement or set it as a goal for you. But at the same time, you can also use social media to promote your sport in your country, in
Yeah,
your community, as well as for when it is you're having competitions. And we do need that. We need a lot more spectators. We
yeah,
need more people coming, more people interested in knowing about the sport. So you use it in that aspect, and you use it to network. You could reach out to your fan, your biggest idol in swimming. They may or may not answer. You never to know, but you could
yeah,
try. And it's always it's a way that you can get our exposure. You get out there,
yeah,
you're up and coming, you're seeing these things, but the content you have to be mindful of. And like I said, when it is you said that, I like when they come and they ask about it, they ask a question, the athletes come to you. Don't shut them down one time,
Yeah.
allow them to give their side as to what they saw with it and what they think that they need, but you will also guide them. You'll let them know that as a coach, I am here to guide you. If we want to reach to that level, okay, we have to set a roadmap as to how we're going to get there. But right now, this is where we're at, and this is where we're going. But social media, it has its pros and its cons, and we really have, as adults, as coaches, as the guidance for the athlete, we have to know how to steer them in that direction in a positive way.
Nice. And just to kind of add to what you're saying, like I definitely think digital marketing is taking over. Like everything is on Facebook, every link is on Facebook. Check this, check Instagram, like everything, even from the Olympic Committee to
Mm-hmm.
Sport TT to UTT, everything that they do now is digital. Like I mean, I don't really buy papers anymore, so I'm not sure if it's there. But if anybody in the comment section, if they're watching, like we all could just say, well, hey, it's still in the papers. Because the first thing I do, I read the papers on my phone. Everything is on my phone, So I read an article on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's just to say that yes, you could use social media to promote sports, to promote everything, to promote coaching, education, stuff like that. So yeah, nearly same applies. The same question. What advice would you give to your athletes or clients on the use of social media? Like, what guidelines do you give to them?
I think, well, I don't really have any like strict guides as to what you can or can't do, but for the most part, if you are, um, there needs to be some sensible content there, but then you also have to leave room for an athlete to be themselves, which is also important. Which sometimes, um, you know, you can an athlete can become so neurotic about their sport that they can lose themselves in the midst of the sport they're doing or what they're doing, right? And that can lead to bad relationships with people, bad relationship with food, um, kind of stuff. So my thing is always whatever content you put in, let it be something that you are proud of. One, let it be something that will get you the exposure you want to be getting, but at the same time, don't lose yourself to begin to want to do things just to get attention. You understand? So, like I was saying earlier, I recently deactivated my Instagram mainly because it was just I was becoming lost in what exactly do I want to contribute to the health, fitness, sporting industry, and I need a moment to just step back and reassess. Okay, what exactly am I bringing to this table here that I can be of positive influence to? Yes, nutrition, yes, personal training, that kind of stuff, but how am I making it in a way that it creates lasting change? And that's on me, but also on my clients. How are they using their Instagram to create lasting change in someone who might see it and be like, hey, I want to be like this person, you know? So because the thing with Instagram and stuff is it starts off as a good intention, and then you will quickly become lost in just doing stuff now. You don't want to become lost in that,
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I just wanna, any wrapping up, all right, I want you guys in the comments to just kind of say like what techniques you would use, like what would you how would you use social media to promote um the sport of swimming in Trinidad and Tobago, and if you are um with social media or if you're against it. So make sure to comment in the comment section and let us know your thoughts and your feedback on it. All right, and thank you guys for tonight. I hope that your message got to some of the athletes and even some of the parents on the guidelines of social media. All right, so enjoy the rest of the show and
Thank you
hopefully
for
I get to
having
see
me.
you all soon, guys. Stay home, stay safe, wear your mask. All right, don't go outside.
You
Don't go outside
too.
after 9, please. You have no beer money. Bye.
Bye.
Good evening, and this is a segment we like to call Chlorine Champions. I'd like to thank Asia, Yavniel, and Chantal for the Coaches Connection. Just waiting for Dr. RAMADHARSINGH to log back in. He was just here a few seconds ago. But the aim of this segment, and actually Chlorine Callaloo, is ready to inform persons of the different activities that go on at swimming pools. There are a lot of different persons that last week you would have seen in this segment. We featured the piano girl, Joanna, and journalist Sergio Difu, because there are a lot of people in this country that are swimming. It's not just competitive swimming, and we want to raise awareness to the different activities that are going on at swimming facilities. So I'm still waiting on Dr. RAMADHARSINGH to log back in, but our next guest is Dr. Glenn RAMADHARSINGH. You all would, of course, have seen him on the screens before, on the Facebook, on your TV screens. He is a former member of parliament, former senator, former member of parliament. He also was the chairman of the Siparia Regional Corporation, and he also swims. Good evening, Dr. RAMADHARSINGH.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me well?
Hearing you loud and clear. How are you today?
Good. I was trying to get on into a better device, but the phone was already programmed into the software system that you're using. Very well. I'm so happy to be part of your show.
Thank you very much. So first of all, too, happy belated birthday. I see you celebrated 49 a few days ago.
Well, I don't think it was a well-kept secret. Thank you.
Well, your page actually has 100,000 followers, and when I went and checked, the only people who may have more than you is the opposition leader and the prime minister. How is that?
That may have been because of the ministry that I served in, Ministry of the People and Social Development, that got me to meet people throughout the country. And while one would have expected the people to have waned or go down, we were looking at that. And when I continued to do work in other fields, including sports, we kept keeping the membership because of different reasons. I continue to have an interest in the special children and supporting those groups. I do triathlon, so it's swimming community, the biking community, the running community, the sporting community, the cultural community. So we kept our membership.
I see it has been cooking and thing too.
Well, that's only in the heat of the lockdown when, things get very, 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 very worrisome and lonely. We cook and we sing.
Well, we'll talk about that singing later on. When did you learn to swim?
Actually, it was in 2013, and it was only because I wanted to do what is called the Ironman. I was a good runner. In the days of Moses, Rangel, and those guys come from South and Siparia, we had a good cast of runners that would champion and the leading list in the marathons and half marathons that at that time. And I was a good cyclist, although cycling was not well developed when I was young, but I had never been exposed to the water in that way. Right. And I was continually knocking on the door of Petrotrin Barracudas in and out. And one day, Mr. Shashri Sankar told me, he said, listen, you don't worry about nobody, worry about yourself. And if you want to do it, come and do it. And the boys and them will help you. And I was a little bit embarrassed because when I went to the Barracudas, people were very prolific swimmers. So I went to the Cuva swimming complex where I met a grassroots fella who was doing a little training on the side. And I started to get a little bit into it. And then I went back to Barracudas and the rest is history.
So you learned to swim just in 2013?
Yeah, actually, I cannot forget Karen Ara, who came home by me. I knew nothing at all about the sport of swimming and how to swim. I just knew you go in the water and have a good time when you go to the beach. And a lot of Trinidadians, and I understand that only about 4% of our population can swim more than 300 meters. And in Australia, which is also an island, 60% of the population can swim more than 300 meters. So it doesn't sell very well for us being an island, how much we appreciate, going out into the water and really enjoying that place in the water where really you have such an exhilarating time. That is a pity that islanders, yeah.
So when did you start to compete?
Right. So, well, I mean, the main event is the Maracas Open Water Swim. So I was training for that and I did it. I mean, I wasn't proud of my first accomplishment. I think only 2 people were in the water after me. I don't know why. I don't know what they were doing there. I was pleased to learn that they were there after me, but I was wondering how could they do that to themselves. But that always happens to first timers.
Right.
And it was the Maracas Open Water that I survived. And again, I mean, the fellas came to me and said, listen, they have this great race in St. Kitts, Nevis. And they said, look, you have 8 months. And I was working towards the triathlon. Again, that was not a long swim. That was 750 meters. And right after that, they said that there was this great race. And, you know, again, Shashri Sankar said, go for it. And I had 8 months and I trained for it. And I did the St. Kitts to Nevis, which is 2.5 miles, 4 kilometers across channel swim, which is island to island. And I was in the water for 3 hours and 45 minutes. I now do that distance in just under 2 hours. But that is to tell you that I went out there and really, you know, set my goals very ambitious. But I survived. I got my first bottle of water at about 3 miles because I missed all the water stops. I got it from a boat of Navy SEAL Americans who were there to volunteer to pick up the people who were coming. But in that race, there were many people behind me, and things started to get better from there.
So you're improving.
Yeah.
I know you like to swim. You could be honest, nobody watching. You ever run away from Parliament to come and go and practice swimming?
No, always before. I ran away. I didn't run away from Parliament. I ran away when things were nothing was going to happen to go to the gym, which was upstairs of the Parliament.
So, I mean, triathlon, cycling, running, swimming. I think you kind of answered it already, but which one is the most challenging?
You know, the swim is always the most challenging. And when in the first Ironman I did was Cozumel, Mexico. The challenge there was the heat, the seaweed, and the occasional jellyfish that you may come in contact with. Of course, beat up in the water if you're a long distance swimmer with foreign international athletes is a norm. But when I did go to Florida, what became a challenge was the temperature, and the water it had gone down to 1 degree when we arrived. But amazingly, where they had cut out the route, you know, the temperature was more like 15 degrees, 14 degrees, and sometimes 13 degrees. And temperature became, so cycling is a gravity-aided sport. And big people can cycle, small people can cycle. Running is a very challenging one too, I think. But it's something I've been doing for a long time. But swimming is unnatural. You know, you don't have gravity on your side. There's about 24 things you have to keep in your head. And I have always seen it. I have treated it with great respect. And I also think it's a barometer of your fitness, how you are swimming, because, you know, it's a lot of things at the same time. Hands, feet, abs, everything, head, everything is involved.
So, if you're now tuning in, this is Dr. Glenn RAMADHARSINGH. He's talking to us about his swimming and triathlon exploits. So, you prefer swimming in the pool or the sea?
Well, I agree with a lot of the books that I've read that swimming in the pool is yuck. Y-U-K-K-K.
Okay.
Open water. There was a quote I saw in a book on running, and it said that there's a beautiful world. Why not run it? And I think it is more apt for swimming because we go to oceans and we go to gaps and we go to bays. And I mean, that is extremely beautiful. And there's a beautiful world. Why not swim it? I've been fortunate to swim in Mexico, Florida, St. Kitts, Nevis, Barbados, and I just wish that there was more that we could do.
All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions here, and I want you to answer it as quickly as possible, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, you're an attorney, you're a politician, you're a vet. Outside of that, what's your dream profession?
That's a good one. My dream profession was always law. Outside of that?
Outside of those three?
Outside of that, a petroleum engineer.
All right.
I know they make a lot of money. Very easy.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Red or yellow?
Yellow. The color of
and let me ask you this one. I know you talk about singing and you talk about swimming. You prefer to be called Glenn RAMADHARSINGH or Glenn RAMADHARSWIM?
Glenn RAMADHARSINGH.
As a triathlete, this is not one of the fast ones. As a triathlete, what challenges do you see triathletes having in Trinidad and Tobago? And we're winding up here.
I think we can survive, but we are not getting to the ultra level. And I think it's because we are not starting at the age of the preschool and the primary school. We play cricket and football. We don't bike there. We don't swim there. I've seen in Siparia where they started with the small ones and cycling. And I see we have an Olympic athlete who comes from Siparia who is going for the games. And I think we have to start at a very young age. We have to have a 20 and 30-year plan in this country if we want to produce Olympic gold. We can't have a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan. That's not going to work. I myself wish if I had learned to swim. I learned to swim at probably 37. I mean that could have been done better. I think we need more opportunities at the entry level. I see in England when I go there to the gym, you have to leave because schools are coming in to the public swim pools. We need more swimming. We're an island. We should do. When I went to Tanzania, I signed up for the swim club there, and I thought I was going to a nice pool. It was the ocean that the guys swim in the morning from 6 to 8, and they leave with the fishing boats, and the fishing boats are their security. So if you really want to do something, you can get it done cheaply, and with the infrastructure in place and more access to poor. And I always have this passion for South and Central and rural parts of Trinidad to become more involved in sports.
I hope the powers that be are listening. And final question: are you learning to swim as an adult? Encourage people to learn to swim for me.
Well, it's a lifelong sport. You'd be 70, 80, and you'd be swimming. You'd be injured, and you'd be swimming. If you can't use your hands, you'll be kicking. If you can't use your legs, you'll be using your hands. Any part of your body is damaged. It's a recuperative. It's the best rehabilitative sport in the world. And it does not do any impact damage to your joints or your bones. It's a dream sport. It's a beautiful world. Why not swim it?
Thank you very much, Dr. Glenn RAMADHARSINGH, for sharing with us. And please continue to keep safe.
Thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
No problem.
Good night and welcome. That was that was a really, really insightful and enjoyable interview, Jason. I wish you had asked him to take us out in song, though. I was looking forward to some really heartfelt notes, But okay, fine, but really, really good interview. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I am Cindy Ann, sous chef Cindy Ann, and Sue as in SUE. That's right, because if I do cook for you, There will be a lawsuit. So thank you for tuning in. Tonight, oh my gosh, listen, it's going to be excitement. Sit back, grab your cup of tea. I hope everybody is safe and inside. We don't want anybody getting into trouble. I have with me tonight Naomi Walters. And hi, Naomi. Hello.
Hi. I'm not hearing anything.
I'm hearing you. You're not hearing?
I'm not hearing
you. Okay, we're going to wait to see if Naomi comes back. Maybe I should sing a song and let me think of something. If you all have any requests, please put it in the comment section. Let me see if I could give you all a little something. But I also wanted to say that with the coach's conscience, I love that they was, talking about using social media as a platform to engage, to kind of share knowledge, because I was just thinking maybe it's a really good thing if you all contact me, I can give you recipes that you should never use, just in case you come across it, because you just never know, right? Naomi is back.
Hi.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, good. Welcome. I was just telling them that, they should follow me on social media so that I can give them recipes that they should never use. So it's so good to have you, Naomi. So you are 16.
Thank you for having me.
16 years old.
Yes, I am.
Going to St. Francois Girls College. Let's hear it.
Yes.
Girls in green and blue, black and white. That's my school.
Yes.
So share with us, Naomi, how has the pandemic affected your studies?
My studies. Well, firstly, I prefer the face-to-face in the hot classroom, hearing everyone talking, seeing the birds flying outside. I do not like this online over the screen learning. For me personally, it has been really difficult. Through the screen is personally not for me. I already wear glasses. My eyes hurt from staring at the screen.
Right.
I think I learn faster and I learn better with the face-to-face.
In person, you think you can get a quicker response, and that kind of thing kind of captures your
Yeah, you can
attention.
you can ask questions. Sometimes like even just now the internet is giving trouble. You might get cut off, you might miss something.
Right.
So I prefer the in-person. Yeah.
So, and you're doing exams in this year?
Yes, I am.
What provisions have they put in place for what's taking place? How have they said anything?
Well, actually today they had a meeting with the CXC Council. So by tomorrow we should get an update. But so far they have given us the topics for the paper 2 so far, which I think is good.
Okay.
But we're waiting to see if they would push back the exam 3 weeks. So today they had a meeting to deal with that.
Okay. So tell me, I'm seeing a lot of nice things behind you, and I want to jump straight into that because that's why we have you here. Oh my goodness. Wait. Don't tell us too much about it. Come forward. We're not going to display anything just yet. Tell me, what you do is called balloon art, correct?
Yes, balloon art or balloon decor.
Or balloon decor. Oh, I prefer balloon decor. It sounds a little fancy. Do you pronounce the R, decor?
Yes, it sounds fun.
Yeah, I prefer balloon decor. I like that. Tell me, what got you started? How long have you been doing it? And this is a threefold question. What got you, or who got you started? How long you've been doing it? And where does it fit into your future?
Okay. So, I've actually really liked to watch balloons, like to just stare at it and admire it. Like wherever I would see balloon decor, I would really admire it. It would look so beautiful and creative, and it's all about what the balloon artist has in their imagination and how they portray it with their balloons. So I've actually really liked it from long before, but as we closed down in Trinidad in March because of the coronavirus, everything was shut down, the pool, school, and everything. So I was just at home, so I was looking for something to do. So I said, you know what? Well, I've always liked balloon decor, balloon art. So I started to look on Instagram actually for people who would teach it and who would normally do it down here and see if they had classes. So actually I stumbled upon Plantastic Events. Hi Mishak. He was my first teacher to teach me this, and I didn't have the class one time in March. I had to wait till June till the restrictions eased up a little. So I went to Mishak at Plantastic Events and I did my first course there, which was really good. He taught me a lot. Then after that course, I went into another course about 2 months after. But as I finished Mishak's course, I started one time. One time. I was not waiting at all. I was so excited to do the course.
So you have a very good heart, clearly, because balloons pop. I mean, that in itself, to me, I am terrified of balloons. Terrified.
Yes, I know some people really hate when it pops. But to me, it's nothing much, you know.
Okay, so you've been doing this for just over a year is when you started. Just recent as a year, right?
Yeah.
How does this fit in
well,
with
it actually
your studies?
hasn't even been a year yet because I would have started in June, July. Yeah.
How does it fit in with your studies?
With my studies, right now I am actually doing it as a hobby, as a side hustle per se. So I'm just doing it for fun. In the future, I still have a lot to learn, so I would like to continue to learn and excel in this. But I'll also keep it as a side hustle. I don't see it being like a full-time job or a full-time career. I'd actually like to get into medical health sciences.
Okay.
So I would actually keep this on the side.
All right. So I know you are going to do one for us very quickly, or do you have some that you're just going to show us?
Yes.
What are you going to do?
Okay, so I can show you what I have behind me.
Well, before you show me what you have, I want to show you what I have done. I stepped out of my comfort zone as much as I'm terrified. And I did something, and I hope that you can. I would like to see you do something better than this. I hope. You know, I'm very competitive, you know. Hello.
Okay.
My friend Eva, I did this. Jason, you're showing where it came from. You were supposed to edit that part out. I was claiming this as my work. What is, Jason, could you remove that my whatever events.com? This, you know, do not hire Jason to display your work is what is probably the best thing. So that did not go as according to plan, but show us what you can do. Show us what you can do since Jason.
It still look nice though.
It looks
it
right.
Look really great.
Yeah, but he sell me out. I wanted, and I was like, I'm going to champion this course tonight. He was not supposed to display. But all right, so he has ruined it. You show us what you can do now.
Okay, so
let's
today,
do it. Oh my God.
I actually did this today just for this evening, just for tonight. So it's actually, it's not really big actually. It's actually a good size. So we would call it a medium balloon bouquet.
A medium balloon what?
A medium balloon bouquet.
Okay.
Like a bouquet of flowers.
Yes, right.
But, yeah. Okay. Then I have this little one. So it's something like this that we'll be doing today. Something very simple.
Okay.
And then I also have a...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Then I also have a